Welcome to VidZet. I'm Dr. Ted Noel. Please remember to support VidZet on Patreon, like us on Facebook, and follow us at VidZet on Twitter. Is Mitch McConnell the Republican version of Harvey Weinstein? Let's consider the parallels. Harvey Weinstein is the current face of a form of corruption that has existed for all of history. People with power demand that others do them favors before they get what they want. Now, if the trade is free on both sides, we call it commerce. When it involves coercion or illegal acts, it is corrupt and criminal. Harvey Weinstein wanted sexual favors from pretty young women. Because he was a major Hollywood producer, he had the power to hire and fire actors and actresses. So he made a simple demand. You grant me the sexual favor I want, and you'll have a job in the movies. If you don't, forget about it. Many young women found this to be disgusting, but they felt like Weinstein had so much power that they couldn't say no. In short, in order to play in Weinstein's sandbox, they had to play in Weinstein's sandbox. You get the drift. And now we know that there were dozens of such sandboxes in Hollywood. Any male who had reached any notable degree of prominence was able to demand special favors from almost any woman, man, or child he chose. This was the price of entry. Just like Harvey Weinstein, Mitch McConnell is happy to play hardball. As a Republican Senate Majority Leader, he controls all committee appointments for Republicans in the Senate. He controls all bills that might come up for a vote. And he controls a massive fundraising machine with the Senate Leadership Fund. In short, he's got the power. And if you want to play in his sandbox, you had better toe the line. No, you don't have to give him sexual favors, or at least as far as we know. But you'd better give him the favors he requires. Notice I did not say that he requests. See, just like Weinstein, Mitch makes it very clear you have to do it his way. Most recently, the Alabama special election for Senate shows how Mitch plays the game. Mitch got President Trump to support Luther Strange for Senate in the Republican primary. This swamp creature had been appointed to the Senate to replace Jeff Sessions when he became Attorney General. It appears likely that there was some corruption with Governor Robert Bentley to make his appointment. And within a couple of months, Governor Bentley was forced to resign to prevent being impeached over more corruption. McConnell arranged for large, dishonest ad buys against Judge Roy Moore, but Alabama voters weren't watching. They knew that Roy Moore would stand for what is right, regardless of what came his way. He had twice done what was right, even though the Alabama Court of the Judiciary twice removed him from his seat on the Supreme Court for his actions. And by a landslide, Alabama selected Roy Moore over Luther Strange to run against a Democrat for U.S. Senate. So let's back up for a minute here. Republicans in the Senate are in a tough position. They have a 2-seat edge over the Democrats. That's it. So if 2 Republicans vote against a bill, Vice President Pence gets to break the tie. This is how Betsy DeVos was confirmed as Education Secretary. And if 3 Republicans defect, bills don't pass. This is what happened when John McCain voted against Obamacare repeal just to poke his finger in President Trump's eye. So if Mitch wants to get something passed, he needs every Republican he can get. And if the Democrat wins in Alabama, Mitch will be in a really bad place. He can only lose 1 Republican vote then. So what did Mitch do? He took his money and went home when Roy Moore beat Luther Strange. Mitch refused to support the Republican candidate in the special election. Why? Because Roy Moore had said he would not support McConnell to be Senate Majority Leader. Let's translate this. Mitch supported a swamp dweller and lost. Big time. Now, out of personal pique, he is acting like John McCain, another swamp dweller. He is willing to lose a safe Republican seat to punish someone who refused to provide the favor Mitch requires. Unconditional personal support. Basically, Mitch said, you give me the personal loyalty I require, and I'll make sure you win your seat. If you don't, you're on your own. I don't care whether we have a Republican majority or not. Now, I'm not going to run through a litany of conservatives who've been denied prime committee seats because they wouldn't play McConnell's game, but it's certain that it happened. We saw it happen multiple times in the House when John Boehner removed conservatives who wouldn't toe the line. This sounds like Mitch McConnell is playing by Harvey Weinstein's playbook. And he's not alone. This is what Harry Reid did when the Democrats held the Senate, and what Chuck Schumer is doing to the Democrat membership now. Toe the line or suffer. To some extent, this is proper, since party discipline is needed for legislative priorities to succeed. But Mitch hasn't been using party discipline effectively for governing tasks. He hasn't called out his membership for violating Reagan's 11th commandment. Thou shalt not speak ill of another Republican. He could allow all sorts of discontent in private, but when senators step out of the cloakroom, they should stand together. But he said nothing about slanders against our president or open warfare against members who actually believe in doing the task they were elected to do. Mitch McConnell has shown that he has more interest in his own power than in doing the job voters elected Republicans to do. And in that, he has shown himself unworthy of his leadership position. But I must not forget what he has done well. And there have been a couple of things. He held the line on Scalia's replacement to the Supreme Court until Justice Gorsuch could be confirmed. And to get him confirmed, he eliminated the filibuster on Supreme Court nominees. At the same time, he has held to the traditions that allow the Democrats to stall the Senate. There's no constitutional rule that 60 votes are needed to pass a bill. That's a rule created from traditions that were created to allow the majority to get past obstructionist minorities. Yet Mitch has so far refused to consider any modification to the filibuster. This allows the minority to totally bollocks up the works and prevent any meaningful action by the Senate. Arcane rules that almost no one understands have to be invoked in order to allow a simple majority to pass bills. So let's look at what the Constitution says. It says simply, quote, the Vice President shall have no vote unless they be equally divided, end quote. This assumes that a majority vote will pass any bill, and the Senate itself agrees, since once a filibuster is broken, a majority vote makes a bill pass. Yet Mitch McConnell has made no effort to revise Rule 22 of the Senate to deal with a Democrat Party that has declared itself to be in total opposition without regard to the merits of any actions. So we have ourselves in a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma, to quote Winston Churchill. Is Mitch McConnell the Republican Harvey Weinstein? In some ways, he seems to be. He would rather lose the Republican majority than lose his seat as Republican leader. Put another way, his seat is far more important to him than doing his job. At the same time, he's done some heavy lifting to help President Trump begin to make America great again. He sounds about like Vinny in the pool hall.
Let me see. This is a tough decision you give me here. Get my ass kicked to collect $200. What do you think? I could use a good ass kick, and I'll be very honest with you. Nah, I think I'll just go with the 200.
Sometimes Mitch McConnell sounds like a loyal soldier in the army to restore America. Other times he acts like a swamp creature out to protect only himself. I wonder, which one is the real Mitch McConnell? I'm Dr. Ted Noel. Thanks for watching. And remember to support us on Patreon, like us on Facebook, and follow us at VidZet on Twitter.